So Blizzard just made the best infinite power farm in Legion Remix even better as well. This is like the first time they've actually buffed the infinite power farm, so let's talk about what they have done here. One of the best, if not the actual best way to farm infinite power right now is running Mythic Plus. But not just any Mythic Plus, by the way. You want to do this in a very specific way. And for anybody who hasn't been doing any Mythic Plus infinite power farming yet, the best way to farm power is by doing Mythic Arcways. So basically, you want to queue solo, 2-man, 3-man, 4-man, it doesn't really matter, but you want to have a certain amount of power, and then you queue up for M plus dungeons. So for example, you go to pre-made group finder, find a group, and over here you put in Mythic, or even just put in Archway, and then you go to Mythic Keystone, and you basically want to queue up for everything you see. Now you can see there's a bunch of people trying to sell a Mythic Plus boost here as well, and you kind of want to get rid of those when you see them. Now, when it comes to getting rid of those, you can do that in one of two different ways. You can either do what I'm doing here, reporting all the groups that are selling boost for advertising, and that way they will get removed after you report them, so you can clean it out the natty way, or you can download an add-on called Bad Boy, and Bad Boy will then filter out any boosts from the party, or like from the pre-made group finder, so you don't see them anymore, by filtering the boost option in the Bad Boy add-on. So if you want to download the Bad Boy add-on, go for that, and it will filter everything out for you. Alternatively, if you don't like to use add-ons, you don't want to have more add-ons than necessary, just report the ones that are selling boost for advertisements, and it will take them away from this as well. You basically just want to clean this out so you can queue up for every single group you find, and from here you just want to spam refresh as often as you can and try to find the groups. Now I will say, for Mythic Archway, the competition is absolutely insane, and you want to put in the versatility that you have in the note when you're queuing up, right? And you want to queue up for anything between 10 and 30, just about, even if you have 500 plus verse, by the way, you just want to queue up for just about anything you can, and the lower versatility you have, the lower keys you want to queue up for as well. I will say, kind of a scumbag technique here is to simply lie about your versatility, and the rhetoric behind this is that if you get invited to the group and summoned and you are inside a dungeon, they are better off simply starting the dungeon and running that instead of replacing you. So I know a couple of people that are lying about their versatility and getting into really high power groups. It is not really ethical gameplay, but I thought I would mention it anyway. So, Archway spamming, insane. So exactly how has this been buffed? Now, just to give you a number of how much power you can get, by the way, I was doing this on stream 2 days ago with a power tracker on stream as well, and we were getting 750,000 infinite power while doing this. Now, I don't have the best versatility, I have 290%, so I sometimes have to look for groups, right? I don't get instantly invited, it sometimes takes a while. So for me, I am not farming at optimal speed. I have a friend who is 800 plus at the moment, and he is getting invited almost instantly to every single group. He is getting 1 million infinite power per hour. This is before the buff that just happened, and also people have reported getting up to 1.5 million infinite power per hour here, which once again I can completely get, by the way, because if me with 290% versatility can get 750, if you just have double my power and a full group of double my power, you can also get double the gains that I'm getting. To me, that just makes sense. And also, if you have a full 5-man stack or even a 4-man stack, especially now after the buff, you can also get way more power here as well. So what exactly has Blizzard done? Well, they have added the NPC that we usually have at the end of Mythic Plus dungeons to be able to reroll keys. In Archway, that NPC hasn't been there, but since yesterday, the NPC is now there. This means, if you are not familiar with rerolling your keys, by the way, if you have a plus 30 key, so for example here, I have plus 30 Black Rook Hold. I don't want to do Black Rook Hold. What I can do right now is do a plus 30 or higher Archway, and at the end of Archway, I can reroll my key. I will still get a random key, so that key can be Archway, it can be Black Rook Hold again, can be Neltharian's Lair. Actually, I don't think you can reroll Black Rook Hold into Black Rook Hold, but you get the point, right? It will be rerolled into a random dungeon. So, this means, after Archway, you can get lucky and get Archway re-rolled from your key. And this way, if you have a full 4-man stack, for example, or a full 5-man as well, or 4-man plus a random or something, the more people you have that have a 30 key in your group, the more potential archways you can run back to back to back to back. Because every single archway you're doing, you will have 5 people that can now re-roll their keys at the end and hope to get archway. Now, in the time it has taken me to talk to you guys in this video, I have already completed 1 archway in the background, as you can see here, and also, this was from the start, right? We started out by filtering out the groups, we also started out by queuing up for groups, and now we are, well, done with 1 archway, a plus 30 or something archway, and I'm queuing up for anything between 15 and 30, in Archway and simply farming those, and they go insanely fast. We are talking between 2 minutes and probably up to 5 minutes per dungeon, but the lower the time, the better. You simply get more fragments, the more, like, well, the lower time you spend inside. So basically you're just trying to rush the dungeon. It's way less about playing the key and more about simply, once again, rushing the dungeon. So if you can do a plus 20 and do it fast, it is 100% worth doing. And the reason why you're doing Archway is that it's simply the most efficient one right now. You are getting the most bang for your buck. You're getting, like, the dungeon goes so fast, you're getting so many keystones, or what do they call them, the fragments, right? You're getting so many of them. To go back into my game right now, I've been hoarding a little bit, and I'm going to pop them today possibly, but either way, I have 1,564 fragments of mementos of epoch challenges. You get about 80 of them for 1 Archway. So think about this, it's 80, like give or take 80, and it takes you 3 to 4 minutes. If you pop 10 of those, that is 800,000 in 3 to 4 minutes each, so multiply that by 10, that is 800,000 power for 30 minutes to 40 minutes of gameplay. So the faster you can get into groups, the more power you get here. Now, if you're a new player, you can also use this information to your advantage, because if you now are pushing keys with a pushing key group, or if you're a solo player, for example, and you happen to get a, let's say, plus 30 key, and you don't have the power to do the plus 30, if you put yourself into the Archway group finder when you have an Archway key, you will get people boosting you for free, and you will get that Archway key or the plus 30 key you have done so incredibly easily. Even right now, I'm seeing people that are low gear, having a plus 30 Archway key, they invite a bunch of strong people, and then they literally go AFK at the start. So you invite 4 people to boost you literally for free, while you eat food, go AFK, do whatever, and then you reap the rewards, because these people are one-shotting the bosses and simply farming power. It is the best way to farm power at the moment, and I'm quite surprised that Blizzard chose to basically buff this when they have been nerfing every single other way of farming power in the game. Herbalism and mining, for example, has been not only nerfed, but nerfed into oblivion. Same thing with elite farming. Any open world farm that we find, they get nerfed the second we find them. Meanwhile, Mythic Archway is giving over 1 million infinite power per hour, and they're buffing it. That is crazy. Now, I did also recently find a very informative Reddit thread about people that recently got to 999 artifact weapon, like basically in the limits unbound, right? So maxing out the infinite power they currently can get, and they made a guide to IP farming. So I kind of want to read this out to you guys so you know where to start and what they did to get capped out. So, hello everybody, earlier today, me and 2 of my friends hit rank 999 on EU, and now that I have some free time from dungeon spamming, I thought I would write up some stuff that I learned along the way that might be useful to others game going for this. Attached above is a screenshot of my versatility, and plus 3% from Mark of the Wild. For starters, unless you care about being immediately powerful, this will likely get much easier in time once we get more knowledge and potential catch-up systems in later later phases, plus more raids to run and so on. So if your goal is just to get it at some point during remix, I wouldn't bother rushing it right now. I will say, by the way, in the raid part, unless they are buffing the power we're getting from raids, raiding is a waste of time. Even doing mythic raids right now is a waste of time compared to simply farming arcways. Now, I still do mythic raids, and if you want to join my mythic raids, I do them every single day, live on Kick, and I bring absolutely everybody because I have enough gear now to basically solo mythic raids. So I want to help everybody out get their mythic achievements and get some gear and power. So if you are struggling to get a spot, watch me live on Kick. We're running the raid sometimes twice per day, which means I can help up to 40 people on a daily basis get their achievements and get their stuff done. Either way, let's go to the next one. For those of you who want it right now, I hope you like keys, because it's going to take a lot of them. I have 527 keys completed since the weekly reset. Number 1, start by aiming to get speed as tertiary on every piece of gear, up to 49%, which is the cap. Number 2, preferably find some friends who want to approach this grind with you. Queuing solo will likely make it likely much worse. Once you are ready to actually start the dungeon farm, find a level you are comfortable with running quickly. If you are low on versatility, this might be 20 to 25, but once you are 250 to 300 plus, I would recommend moving up to 30s and staying there for the remainder of the farm. In our journey, we didn't feel like going higher than 30 was ever worth it after comparing boss HP increase versus the increase in rewards. Then you should get some ideas of which dungeons are the most efficient, and some basics tips for everybody is: Archway is the holy grail and should be run whenever you get it. Send your fastest player to the 4th boss, changes depending on which door is open. Your biggest burst DPS to the first one or the last one to skip the intermissions.
Solheim was right.
Thank you for the follow and Kick, by the way. And split the rest between robot/spider, preferably 2 on spiders as it takes the longest, but you might need a bit more verse to solo robot before the 20-second stun. Neltharius Lair is the second best, assuming you have a demon hunter, comfortable skipping to last boss and with enough damage to make skipping to last boss actually efficient. Anybody with mid-air displacement, so disengage, wild charge and so on, can skip over the wall after the first boss as well, and druids can skip to the 3rd one by feral wild charging the 2nd boss while he stood on his platform. Blackrock Hold and Darkheart Thicket are both quite fast. BRH is just a matter of never letting go of the W key, and you can send somebody to do last boss earlier with some tricky DH jumping, Demon Hunter jumping, but it saves 20 seconds at most, and the DHT is a matter of splitting people so each boss is accounted for, but be careful of snaps in DHT. Halls of Valor and Maw of Souls are playable, but should be the last choice. I mean, Halls of Valor as well, really. Maw is fast, but very little reward, somehow bugged, and the Halls is quite slow due to forced roleplay. Eye of Ashara can be very efficient, but it relies on having a bit more versatility, so that somebody can solo kill King Deepbeard quickly. Other than that, just send somebody to each other boss. Court of Stars and Vault of Wardens are terrible, but if it's literally the only keys you have to choose from, then Vault is slightly better. I absolutely hate both of those two, by the way. There is not much more to it than just spamming 30s over and over and prioritizing efficient keys once you have a decent versatility group and a good understanding of the dungeons that you can get some very fast runs. Something we did to keep it interesting and keep our mental a bit is to chase personal best times in the keys, and it also helped to keep an idea of how much power we were gaining over the farm. If you would like to compare our times, some of them are this: 113 Archway, 149 Neltharius Lair, 336 Blackrock Hold, and 437 Halls of Valor. I'm assuming all of these are 30s, by the way. I can grab more if people are curious, but these are just the ones that I had recordings of on hand. It is worth noting that Raider.io will not display most of these runs, as it has a lot of problems showing keys that are this fast. Of the 700 keys I did for the farm this week, plus last week, it shows maybe 150 of them in total. Other than all of this information, the basic TLDR is that it's a big time investment. I have 7 days and 10 hours played on my remix character, and for basically all of this reset, we've been playing 11 to 13 hours a day, spamming 30s efficiently. But for those of you who have a yearning for a mindless grind and have a lot of free time, I had a lot of fun and would recommend it. It is absolute degen gameplay, by the way, so do with that what you will. I am not super familiar with formatting on Reddit, so sorry if any of this is too difficult to read, but if you have any questions, I'll try to answer the comments from time to time. Very detailed overview, by the way, of how this person farmed M+, and which dungeons are worth doing, and if you're trying to farm power right now, this right here is basically the recipe to follow. You either do exactly what these guys did here, so farm in a 4-man party, 5-man party, and do the dungeons in this order, so Archway number 1, Neltharion Lair number 2, and then BRH or DHT, or do what I said at the start of the video, spamming Archways. Just queue up for Archways all the time and camp outside Archway. That is usually better if you are number 1, a solo player, or number 2, you have a really strong 4-man stack, where if you sign up, you are basically guaranteed to be invited. So either be a couple of strong people in a group, or be a solo player, queue up and hope for the best. Either way, I just want to say, by the way, that even for me, I currently have 292% versatility, and I can solo mythic raids, so you don't need to max this out by any means, shape or form. You can get to 150 and be super strong anyway. At 292, I am as strong as I will ever need to be, but I'm still only 1/3 on the way to max out my power. I will also say that anybody who's not in a rush to get this done, don't feel like you need to be in a rush. Once again, you don't need max power, but if you really want to get max power, there are some catch-up mechanics coming later in the remix. Also, we're getting access to more and more raids. We now have the Nighthold probably out now in North America, and we also have Nighthold coming out tomorrow for EU. In 2 weeks, we will also have Broken Shore and Tomb of Sargeras. 2 weeks after that, Argus and the Burning Throne. And then, on December 9th, you can see here there's something called Catchup opportunities, so we'll see what that is. Maybe it's a flat percentage boost. What if you start getting 100% more infinite power? That way, people that are spending, let's say 100 hours now to farm, you can do that same farm in 50 hours or less. So if you are not in a rush to get the power, just wait for the catch-up mechanics and more raids to be out as well. Either way, hopefully you enjoyed this video. Archway spamming is insane. I've tried it myself live on stream. I do a couple of Archways pretty much every single day anyway. I just don't want to be trapped in the whole mindless farming of doing M+ for 10 hours per day, man. It's what burned me out in Legion the first time, so this time I'm having a more relaxed approach to Mythic Plus spamming, but I'm leveling a bunch of characters. So for me, I already have about 40 level 80s leveled up in Remix. I am absolutely degenning as well, but in a different side of the game itself. Either way, hopefully you guys are enjoying Legion Remix as much as I am, and if you want to come by and say hello and chat with me and play the game together, or just have a fun time, well, I'm live on Kick every single day, including right now, so come by, lurk in chat, chat in chat, join the community. We're having a blast, and once again I'm helping you guys with raids as well on a daily basis. Either way, thank you for watching, let me know your thoughts in the comments, and thank you once again. I'll see you in the next video very soon, or I'll see you on Kick.